Yeah, so I was doing some research on the microchip, and I typed in Google, "Is the whole world gonna get a microchip?" And a few sites came up on it. Let me start by saying all praises and glories due to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash, Shalom to you, brothers and sisters of the household of faith, the household of the elect of the nation of Israel. And yet it's another video. So yeah, so I typed in, is the whole world gonna get a microchip? And like I said, a few examples came up. This one here from Government Tech. From progress to bans, how close are human microchip implants? And remember, this is a worldwide thing. It's not just America, but a worldwide thing. It's part of the New World Order. Okay. Look at what's said here. Now, this article is from February the 5th, 2023. So this is what, a little more than 2 years ago, this article. It says, a headline from The Hill in January 2023 proclaimed human microchip implants take center stage. So it's growing in popularity. This goes back to the prophecy in Revelation 13:16, which certain Israelites are trying to deny, that the microchip is not the mark of the beast. Here's how that article begins. The novelty of replacing one's home key with a microchip implant is gaining worldwide interest. See, it's gaining. The key word there is gaining worldwide interest. So the microchip is going to be not only for, paying for goods, but also it could be used to open up doors. As you've seen certain videos where people that have been implanted with the chip can use it to scan a door, and the door, you can open the door just by scanning it. Okay. Let's see. I'm just scanning the article, but what was said here is pretty riveting right here. The novelty of replacing one's home key with a microchip is gaining worldwide interest. So there'll be a lot of aspects to that microchip. And the way they're going to push it for everyone to take it is they're going to highlight the convenience of it. Now, here's a video that I was watching here. Let me share that with you. Bear with me for a minute. I'm not going to make this video too long. This video here.
What's your credit card debt balance?
Title of this video is China's Big Development Could Set World Up for Mark of the Beast. This was 3 years ago by CBN News. CBN News, as you see here, that's the channel. 2.23 million subscribers. CBN News. I think CBN means Christian Broadcast Network, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what it means. So let's check this video out.
If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today. And number 3 is an app.
Well, China is pushing ahead into a cashless society. It's creating a new digital currency to replace paper money and coins. It will also give the Communist Party total knowledge of how the Chinese people are spending their money. And that.
Now, he said digital currency. That ties into the chip too. The chip will be the new form of digital currency, okay? Which affords the top banking families total control. Remember, it's all about control. So he said that, let's go back and hear that again. Okay, let's hear that again.
Well, China is pushing ahead into a cashless society. It's creating a new digital currency to replace paper money and coins.
China is pushing ahead to a cashless society. Now, that's true because I have an example here. Again, I was watching this video earlier. This is a Jake from Ghana who lives in China, and he speaks fluent Mandarin. Now, he went to the store to purchase a pair of glasses because he said he was having problems with his eyes from staring at the computer, because he's a YouTube content creator. Right, that's his channel right there. Fel Tommy. He's from Ghana, but he speaks fluent Mandarin, right? So in this example, I have two examples from this video. The first one, it doesn't show him paying for the glasses by using the phone to scan, to be scanned. All right. But the second example clearly shows you, because what happened was he went to get his beard trimmed a little, and after they were done, he used his phone to pay for him getting his beard trimmed. Okay, I'll show you that. But first, let me show you this part here. And they're negotiating how much he wants to pay for the glasses. So check it out. Bring that back another 10 seconds.
298。那给198。你说啥？
镜框，它镜框是198，镜片那你要配那个防蓝光的，就是另外算198。
也加198，是不是？
对，就一共300多块钱。如果你是单单配这个来玩一下的话，那就是198就可以。
198啊。对。好，那直接来那个吧，可以少一点给我吗？150可以吗？
你做那个镜片啊？
对。
镜片180给你好吧
？180。180。我给你170吧。170。
你来这么多谁会减价啊？
谢谢阿姨。
98这边又70，一共就是360吧？
好，行，可以。需要多久？做好。
需要10分钟。
10分钟啊。那我先就走一走，然后马上就回来，好吧？
可以，但是要先付款。
Okay, so she says here, you'll have to pay first. So watch. Now it's not going to show you him scanning, having his phone scanned, but the next example, you'll see that his phone was scanned for him to pay for his beard getting trimmed. The next place that he goes to.
哦，可以，我先付360。
I'll pay first. See him going through his phone? Now, like I said, it doesn't show it. For some reason, the video jump cuts to him already. He's already paid, so he's about to leave and try to go get something to eat. This Jake here. By the way, when you watch this video, man, them so-called Chinese, they were all over him, man, treating him like a celebrity because his mastery of the Mandarin language. All right, and a lot of them in this video, a lot of the so-called Chinese, they said you speak Mandarin better than we do. And all I could think about is Israel, because this guy here is definitely an Israelite. He's from Ghana. And all I could think about is Israel being the sand of not the sand of the sea. I'm thinking of something else. Israel being, how's it go? How should I say? Oh, the salt of the earth, the flavor. Because a lot of them so-called Chinese in this video, when you watch this video, which I'll put the link in the description box, a lot of the so-called Chinese was saying that this guy, they said, you speak Mandarin better than us. All right, so let's watch some more.
all right, guys, this is a lot of money I'm paying, but...
See, this is a lot of money I'm paying. Now, how did he pay? There was no, just like the previous video we saw, where the newscaster said from CBN, he said China is moving to a digital currency. There was no paper dollar bills exchanged. There was no coins. He paid using his phone. It was a digital transaction, just like the previous video said. So that's one more step closer to what? That chip. Okay, so now he's getting ready to go and try to get something to eat, but I think he goes first to get his beard trimmed.
Bro, something that you're doing for your own health is very important. So I got to get it paid and then make sure that I don't have any problems in the future, you know.
Yeah, you're talking about them glasses he wanted to get to shield his eyes from the radiation from watching too much of the computer. Now, okay, here it is right here, right around here. So he's getting he goes to get his...
Earn more with high-yield cash from Robinhood Gold. This column already has 1, 2, and 4, so this cell is 3. This box already has 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, here he goes to get his beard trimmed. All right, so let's check it out.
应该很专业吧？哪里的？我是加纳的。加纳？对。很标准吗？谢谢。
There was one place this guy went to, and they just gave him the food for free. They were so knocked over of how he was able to speak the Mandarin language so fluently that they said, look, you don't even have to pay. You could just take the food, you know.
然后我看到就是很多就是剪头发的那个地方，他们不做，就不修那个服装。
Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward it to the part where he had to go up and pay. Now watch how he pays. In this example, you're gonna see he uses his phone to pay.
多少钱啊，老板？谢谢是老板，他是老。
See how much, boss?
啊。
He said he's the boss.
20是吧？20块钱哦，很便宜。好便宜啊！对。办个会员。会员吗？我正常不做这个。
See, he's got his phone out. He's about to pay. Watch.
会来一下吗？我正常不是，我下次会来这边，因为我很难找到，就是他们会做那个福字的那个。我下次会来这边，好吧？
See that? Watch that again. See how he paid?
正常不做这个。偶尔来一下吗？我正常不是，我下次会来这边，因为我很难找到，就是他们会做那个福字的那个。我下次会来这边，好吧？
See that? He scanned. That's how there was no paper money exchanged, no coin, nothing like that. Okay, he paid by his phone being scanned. You know, he obviously has a bank account on, you know, the app for on his phone, and that's how he paid for the service that was given to him. Okay, and then there's another part in the video where he goes into this restaurant and he also pays the same way. Okay, this guy here, that's his channel there, Fel Tommy. He's from Ghana. He lives in China. And just like it said in the previous video, let's hear that again.
How to be broke in 2025. Keep spending without using any financial tools, and you'll be broke before you know it. But if you want to...
Well, China is pushing ahead into a cashless society.
And we just saw an example of that. And that video that I showed you is very recent. The video with the Jake paying for his glasses and for the service of him getting his beard trimmed. And then later in the video, the same video, he goes to get something to eat and he pays the same way. Okay, so what this guy just said here is that's actually what's going on in China. Okay, and if you don't think it's coming here, then you well, in certain aspects it's already here. Certain people use their phone to pay. All right, me myself, I use my debit card to pay for the services that I get. Some aspects I can insert the card into the machine or just tap the card. on the machine, and the transaction is done. Okay? So let's hear some more.
Creating a new digital currency to replace paper money and coins. It will also give the Communist Party...
And we saw an example with that, with the Jake. Okay? There was no coins, there was no paper money. He just used his phone to pay for his services.
Knowledge of how the Chinese people are spending their money. And that opens the door for unprecedented government control. George Thomas has the story.
That opens the door for unprecedented government control. Okay? So that's what the microchip is all about. Control. It's Esau.
The Chinese were the first in the world to invent paper money back in the 7th century. Now, more than 1,400 years later, China is again on the cusp of creating a new form of government currency that some say could pose a serious economic threat to America and the West.
China is about to launch one of the most revolutionary financial projects in the world.
They're not cryptocurrencies. They're not so-called stable coins. In effect, they are the national physical currency of a country, just represented in a digital form.
Eric Bethel.
Just represented in a digital form. We just saw an example of that with the Jake. That's how he paid his for his services. All right. So, and this video here.
Protecting your kidneys starts with what you eat.
Did you know that cilantro can detox your...
Cilantro is pretty good for the vision and the kidneys. This video here was put up 11 days ago, and we saw how he paid. Let's go and watch it again. We saw how he paid for that service. Okay, right around here. I think it's around here.
快了，好吧？好，好的，非常感谢你们。多少钱啊，老板？姐是老板，他是老板。好。我正常不是，我下次会来这边，因为我很难找到，就是他们会做那个福字的那个。我下次会来这边，好吧
See that? Digital currency. That's how he paid for his service. Yeah, we're watching everything, man. At GMS, I hate to sound like a commercial. GMS Great Millstone, we watch everything. That's what Yahushua said to do. Watch as well as pray. Isn't that what he said? So that's how you know that this lines up with the prophecy in Revelation 13:16. Because if all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark, all meaning the people of the world, not just America, the people of the world. Okay, digital currency, that's the order of the day. That sets the stage for the chip, the microchip, which will be the new form of currency. The next move is you won't even need a phone to pay. You just have the chip in your hand or in your forehead, and you pay that way. They just scan it. It'll be a form of debits and credits. They just scan it, and you're good to go. That's what Esau wants. That's where Esau is going with it. See that? And you can get a receipt, email. A receipt can be emailed to you, or however they do it. A text can be sent with the receipt. This is how things are going. Now, here he's in the restaurant here. He's having a conversation. They're treating this guy like a celebrity.
我们很少吃面，但是那个汉堡有饭，别的都有。
And I think this is the restaurant where he goes to pay, and the guy said, "No, you don't have to pay." Let me see if I can find it. Look, he's getting all that food. I think that's beef.
但是呢，就是做方法不一样。
Beef and noodles.
He knows the right flavor, you know.
See, Esau never showed Jake this because this is positive. Esau don't want to show Jake in a positive light. Esau wants to show Jake in a comedic light, and a bunch of comedians or criminals. Never something as educational as this. Esau won't show this. Jake, you know, like I said, this Jake is from Ghana, and they usually the Jakes from West Africa, they're usually a lot more smarter than the Jakes here. Just something that I've noticed. You know, either Nigeria or Ghana or Cameroon, they're a little more smarter than the Jakes over here, and you know, the so-called American Jakes that have been raised up. America, man, America. Boy, let me just keep going. Let me just keep. I see why my father hated this place so much.
这个牛肉放这个里面，哎，太好吃了，真的。好吃啊！有没有多一点的牛肉？可以，可以吗？煮多一点给你。可以加多一点吧。哎 ，This is so nice, man.
So it's beef and noodles.
啊，但是哇，那太多了！哎，老板，来，太多了。不多。哇！你们都看看，这个太多了吧？哎呀，老板太热情了，这个太多了。
That thing look kind of good, man. That beef in there.
我们看一下。So you put this meat inside of this, and bro, the flavor is just so nice, man. So nice, so delicious.
过几天带2个外国朋友搞个火锅，我们那火锅才是。
你们火锅是哪个火锅啊？
就我们潮汕牛。
It's like Pastor said, there's lessons within lessons. Now I just want to get to the part where he asked how much.
直飞到南非，微辣就。阿山什么？
我们现在。老板，下次再带朋友过来。
这个多少钱？
不用，这个请你。
啊
See that? How much is it?
又麻又辣，是不是？非常感谢你们啊！我先走，你这个多少钱？
不用，这个请你。
啊 ？No need to pay. I'll treat you. See?
又麻又辣，是不是？非常感谢你们啊！我先走，你这个。
Here we go. I'll leave first. How much is this?
多少钱？
不用，这个请你。
No need to pay. I'll treat you. See?
啊？不可能！
He pulled out his phone to pay.
多少钱？
不用。
哎，老板，
下次再带朋友过来。
啊
Look at this guy is all over him, man.
我付，不能亏给你们。哎
See? I'll pay. I can't give you a loss. So the Jake he's ready to pay for his food. He said, no, you don't have to pay. They were so taken back by this guy because he spoke that fluent Mandarin.
What? 我们现在朋友了。
Oh, look at that. He said, we're friends now. And you could see it's genuine. The guy wasn't putting on an act.
这个很少就
把这个给你朋友看一下我们的招牌。
Guys, take a look. 潮汕什么
？9记潮汕鲜牛肉店。
你们不说我的钱很少，是不是？
Yeah, you know, I was kind of getting into it. But anyway, the point is there. He pulled out his phone to pay. So just like the previous video, let's go back to it.
Well, China is pushing ahead into a cashless society. It's creating a new digital currency to replace paper money and coins. It will also give the Communist Party total knowledge of how the Chinese people are spending their money. And that opens the door for unprecedented government control. George Thomas.
Yeah, and China is a model for that. China seems to be the place where the wicked elite test out government control, you know. And then ultimately it's going to come here.
As the story.
The Chinese were the first in the world to invent paper money back in the 7th century. Now, more than 1,400 years later, China is again on the cusp of creating a new form of government currency that some say could pose a serious economic threat to America and the West.
China is about to launch one of the most revolutionary financial projects.
Pose a serious economic threat to who? America. Yeah, China seems to be the testing ground, so to speak, for many different forms of so-called government control, which is really top banking families' control, because there is no more governments per se. There's just corporations that are controlled by the top banking families of Esau, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc., Oppenheimers.
In the world.
They're not cryptocurrencies. They're not so-called stable coins. In effect, they are the national physical currency of a country, just represented in a digital form.
Eric Bethel is the former U.S. executive director of the World Bank.
Bitcoin near record highs, crossing 23,000.
He says while the world fixates on private cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin,
but the digital yuan isn't a payment system. It's actual money.
Beijing is busy building a digital version of its own currency, the yuan.
And we just saw an example of that. Remember, this video is 3 years ago. So the previous video with the Jake, that was 11 days ago. So we just saw an example of that. So it's moving right along, man.
Also known as the renminbi, to control its citizens and eventually threaten the dominance of the US dollar.
They pretty much created all of them.
Control its citizens. So again, China is like a testing ground of control for the wicked elite. Okay? What you call it? The C boogie, the C to the O to the V to the I to the D. Where was the testing ground? China. Okay.
Building blocks that will allow a central bank digital currency to flourish.
And Yahya Fanusi, a former economic and counterterrorism analyst in the CIA, says China's goal is to replace cash with a digital currency that's good.
And they're doing it. We just saw an example of it.
Controlled by the communist government's central bank.
China has said for a while that it expects to pretty much be a cashless society in the future.
Here's how we're going to stop making excuses and learn those languages next year. You throw on a little Pimsler and you do the chores you had to do anyways.
Has said for a while that it expects to pretty much be a cashless society in the future. So the idea is that cash notes, coins will no longer be around, and that people will be using digital currency that's going to be in their wallets.
And we just saw that. Did we not just see that? With that Jake, the example, video made 11 days ago. This video was 3 years ago, or probably more than 3 years ago. It says 3 years ago over here, as you can see. But it's probably more like 4 years ago, this video here, from CBN News.
That digital currency will also be issued by the government bank, allowing what Congressman Michael McCall, the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, says is unprecedented access to people's financial transactions.
This will give them data on behavior, on how they spend.
And giving Beijing the power to track that spending in real time.
There will be
So this is one step closer to the ultimate form of control, which is that microchip put within you. Now, if you Israelites can't see that, then you know, if you can't see that, that ties into Revelation 13:16, then you're just not a member of the elect. You're totally blinded spiritually, man.
Point where the People's Bank of China is going to be able to peer inside of every single transaction that everyone does 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Which means if you are a human rights activist or a Christian, authorities can now use this new technology to punish you if you engage in activities they consider anti-government.
This
total form of control. It's the same thing that Aaron Russo said.
Technological ability is something that the government has never had before. It always had to go to companies to say, okay, cut off this person. Now, the Chinese government, I think, with sort of the proverbial flip of a switch, can make people fall in line by cutting off their access to money.
Eventually, U.S. and other foreign companies doing business in China will be required to use the government's new digital currency payment system.
There's a competitive issue.
No man could buy or sell except he that had the mark.
There are, I'd say, even cybersecurity issues, privacy issues. You're handing over your data to the Chinese Communist Party by participating in this digital currency system.
The US dollar is...
But you got no choice, because that's the form of currency now, as we just saw with the video with the Jake in there.
The world's dominant reserve currency. China's renminbi is number 8. Beijing's ambition is to eventually supplant the dollar's global dominance with the digital yuan.
The big concern is internationally, especially for the US, is in the long term, this is an important step. This is what I would call a fintech, a financial technology development. And the issue is that China is thinking decades in advance. It's not thinking about the next 2 to 3 years, per se.
In June, the communist government handed out more than $6 million worth of its digital currency to its citizens as part of a series of trials around the country. The first kicked off in Beijing, allowing residents there to use 2 government bank apps to test digital payments. China then plans to make its big digital currency splash at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. Now that the world's largest authoritarian regime has launched this first-of-a-kind sovereign digital currency, some in the U.S., like Congressman Mike Waltz, worry Beijing will use this form of payment to also skirt economic sanctions.
The Chinese government convinces countries like Burma, Iran, North Korea, and others to do business in that Chinese digital currency. It'll also allow China and those countries to work around one of our most powerful tools, which is sanctions.
Based on history, Waltz believes China is only too happy to share the technology with other rogue regimes that seek to enhance their own surveillance capabilities over their citizens.
So that those other countries in Africa, the Middle East, and elsewhere can dominate their people in line with the Chinese version of government. But that data then comes back to Beijing so that they will literally, through facial recognition, be able to monitor the globe.
This is what I was saying the other day to someone who didn't understand EMFs. They're like, I don't get it. What are you telling me? Imaginary waves?
Globe.
George Thomas, CBN News.
So you see that? That's what's coming here, man. Now, before I go, let me see if I find this video. Yeah. Let's take a look at this.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller.
There'll be no more cash. We saw that with that example in China. Okay, the Jake, he didn't use cash. He didn't use paper or hard currency. He used what? He used his phone to pay, digital currency. So that's one more step to the ultimate form, which is the chip of currency. The chip will be the new currency. If you can't see that, then you know.
So this is what they want to accomplish, and all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally. Total control. Total control. And
total control. Now, the previous video, the financial guy was talking about Yaya something. He was talking about what? How the government can control the people with that currency, as in China. So that's what it's all about, total control.
If you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing.
That was said in the previous video. Okay, the video where those different, they interviewed those different financial experts, and they said, well, this is you saw it, this is a form of control by the Chinese government. So this is exactly what Aaron Russo said. Now this video, according to what we have here, is 14 years ago. This video came out around 2015, was it? Or 2014, somewhere around there. Okay, the video that we're watching here. You know, because this man, Aaron Russo, he passed away. You know, he passed away from cancer. But let's bring that back.
They just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food.
You can't buy or sell without the mark. The mark is the chip.
You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what you sell.
Everything is in there, you know?
I also heard that in the same video, talked about the Chinese bringing in that technology. Now they can control what you buy. You know, when you bought it, where you bought it. Again, total control, like Alex Jones just said, total control.
So they want a one world government controlled by them.
And by the way, that's the image. One world government. The mark is the chip. The image is the one world government. The beast is the Roman Empire, which everything is patterned after the Roman Empire. Okay, the ancient Roman Empire. That's why when you look at the dollar bill, you'll see the pyramid, you'll see Latin words around it, Novus Ordo Seclorum. The Latin goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. That was one of the main languages during the ancient Roman Empire, Latin. So look, to borrow a phrase, all the holes in the Swiss cheese is lining up. All the holes in the Swiss cheese is lining up. Lining up for what? For the digital currency of the RFID chip, man. It's all lining up. And it's all about control.
Everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal. That's their intentions.
Eric, can you be specific about when you met Rockefeller, how it happened in these discussions?
So there it is. Anyway, see you in the next one.